Okay, so now that we've done the title, we need to do the Film 4 graphics. Those are a little bit more complicated. So we're just going to duplicate one of our scenes and we'll rename this. I'll call this Film 4. And this one, what we need is we need the word film, like that. And then this is going to have the, so I'm just going to rename that. No, I'm just going to transform so that the pivot point is in the middle, and let's move it there so it's centered. Okay, this has got a bunch of animation with it and masks, and so I'm going to get rid of the mask, number one. It's got the animator, I'm going to get rid of that, and so now there's no animation on this at all. And I'm going to get rid of this block. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the film logo, and then we're going to create the animation that happens as well. So I'm going to create kind of 4 shapes basically. The first one is going to go from here down to here. And so what's happening is I'm drawing a mask on film. So I don't want to do that. So deselect all layers and then you won't. So I'm going to grab here and I'm going to draw it so that it's like that. And that is good enough. And I'm going to, again, I want to move the pivot point, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this is going to be the first shape. And I'm just going to use the arrow keys to move it into position. And that's great. Okay, next one, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to duplicate it. So Command or Control D. And then I'm going to move that over here because that's going to form the rest of the 4, as it were. Then I'm just going to duplicate this again, and then I'm just going to rotate it. So just like that. Press Shift and it will lock it. And then I'm going to move that into position here, and that will create the logo like that. The thing is that this logo, if we kind of go to Photoshop and we look at it, you can see that it's kind of creating the 4 like that. So we've just got to kind of try and do the same. So this bit is not right. So I'm just going to scale it in and move that into place. As close as you can, really. Okay. And that will do. That's close enough at the moment. So the thing is what happens is that this one's going to grow that way, and this one's going to grow this way, and this one's going to come up from the bottom. And so I need to change some pivot points kind of quite fundamentally. So this one, I want the pivot point to be there. So I'm going to use this tool up here, which is called Pan Behind, and what we can do is we can take this and we can just kind of chuck it down here on this one. And then I'm going to take this layer and I'm going to chuck this. I'm trying to move the pivot point. So I'm just going to take that, just move that down to here. Sorry, it's a bit laggy because I'm screen recording. And then the final one, you can label these if you want, but I'm going to, for speed's sake, I'm just going to not do that. So what's going to happen is that we are going to animate the scale of these. So I'm going to take 2 seconds to do that. So we're also going to keep these upper and lower areas. They're still going to move, and we're going to carry on doing that, and that's okay. But what's going to happen is that from this point we're going to start kind of animating them. So I'm going to take 2 seconds from there, so at 4 seconds I want this to be scaled like that, and then here I'm going to make this scale. So I'm going to just sort of grab the end of it here and then just pull it in like this here. So now what's going to happen is the whole thing's going to come down, and then this is going to scale like that, and then I'm going to ease that. The next one, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to do the same thing. Go here. I'm going to set the scale here, and then I'm going to scale it kind of like this, and then I'm going to easy ease all of that, and then finally the last layer, I'm going to transform this. I'm going to put the scale at 4 seconds, and then at 2 seconds I'm going to scale this down like that. So now, oh, and I'll just easy ease all that. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to get all of this kind of moving, and exactly kind of what I want basically. And then at this time, at 3 seconds, I want to get this kind of moving upwards. So I'm going to go to the text, I'm going to open that up, I'm going to add a position, and then I'm going to animate this over another couple of seconds. So it ends up here, but at 3 seconds, it's going to move down there. And then I'm going to easy ease all of that. And then I'm going to build another mat. So on that, I'm going to create a mat, and this will just go literally to the top of that crossbar. If you don't get it exact, you can use the arrow keys to do that, and then that will do that. And so now that's the film 4 finished. And when you are done with that, you go composition and you add to media encoder queue, and then you can render this off as a H.264. I've missed a couple of details here and there, so make sure that you kind of don't get any of these overlaps here, because those are a bit annoying. And that's it.